All right, here we are again. Let's try. Okay, we are going to be doing a one sheet wonder, which means you need a piece of full cardstock, basic white full cardstock to do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a particular pattern, and I'm going to be using Berry Burst, and I will be using Bubble Bath. Okay, so those are the colors that I'm going to be using. All right, want to make sure everybody is here. There we go. Okay, we are. Want to make sure. Can we see everything? All right. All right. Now, if you don't have Berry Burst and Bubble Bath, you know what? It is totally okay. I'm going to show you some samples of cards that we had created using different colors. Okay, so this one is using Fresh Freesia, Lost Lagoon, and Pretty Peacock. So there's the Pretty Peacock. This is Lost Lagoon and Fresh Freesia. It's a very nice color combination. And if you have one of these colors, you can do that. I wanted to show you that color. Now, this one is Bubble Bath and Boho Blue. So there's another one. So there's the Boho Blue and the Bubble Bath. I still think this one's a little bit brighter, a lot nicer. Comment below what you think. This one in particular has Crushed Curry and Melon Mambo. So there's another option. Or if you want to do something a little bit kind of tone on tone, there is Blackberry Bliss and Fresh Freesia, Pebbled Path Sentiment. So that's a bit of a kind of a gray there for you. So those are the colors that if you don't have Berry Burst and Bubble Bath, there's an option that you can use for these. I wanted to give you some ideas of the different colors that you could use. But what I'm going to be doing is using Berry Burst and Bubble Bath because I thought it was very cool. I thought it was really nice, the two tones. My next favorite, it's a toss-up between this one and this one, but I do like the Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock here on that. So it's tough. So you go with what you think is the nicest, but I wanted to give you some different options. All right. What we're going to do is with this, now when you look at the instructions, okay, that I had posted, it kind of gives a kind of like a bizarre type of kind of shape here. I tried to do the best that I could for shapes, but what we're going to do is I'm going to be using it. Come on, Sue, I'm going to pop you up and I'll put you over there for your winnings. And we're going to do a shape kind of here on this portrait type. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the darkest color with Berry Burst and in the Cheerful Daisies. Now, you can either just use the little cluster of flowers here if you want, or I was thinking I might use a combination of the little daisies and the clusters kind of to see how it's going to go. I thought that'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. What do you think? Anyways, so let's get started. And I think I'm going to start with just the clusters for now. So I'm going to put that on the block. All right. And I'm going to start with the Berry Burst. So if anybody's been commenting, sadly, I cannot see that because I'm using my phone to do this video and the comments don't seem to be coming up on my, my laptop. Oh, there they are. Hi, Pat. Thank you for commenting. I can see it now. All right. So I've been having some technical issues. I don't know what the heck is going on. So let's get started. I'm going to imagine. So I'm imagining kind of like a bizarre kind of S-shape image there. So I'm going to pat. Oh, and I'm going to have a tissue because it's over a little bit. I'm just going to wipe that off. And I'm going to start and kind of go around in a shape. Now, my Berry Burst seems very dark at the moment, but as I go as it dries, it will dry a little lighter. And as I bring in the bubble bath, will help lighten that up. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm turning my stamp as I go along. Okay, so some of them might be upside down, and some of them might be right side up. And I'm just going to keep going around. So I'm going to see if I have a smaller block. That is a C. Is that a C? I wanted to find a smaller block, but I don't think I have one because I'm getting the ink everywhere. I don't want that to happen. I find that once I use a larger block, the ink kind of gets out of the way and on the block. So I'm carefully going to follow it around. Okay, this may take a little bit of time. So especially since we are using a smaller type of flower to stamp around. So now you can start seeing that shape coming around, right? I can make it a little bit more pronounced, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it and then I can fill it in a little bit as we go along. Okay, so I want to make sure that you can see it. There we go. And I keep turning it. I don't want the flowers all to be in the same direction. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. Okay, and I'm kind of going off here. So again, trying to keep the shape. I'm going to fill it in a little bit. Now I'm going to keep going. Now I don't want to add too much into it because I want that other color to come in. So you can see the shape line right there. So I'm going to end it right about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my stamp and I'm going to work with the bubble bath and trying to fit that in. Again, imagining that shape, that kind of S shape to fit in between. So I'm going to clean that stamp well. Okay. Get all that berry burst off. Now, some people find that doing this kind of stamping is a little bit challenging, but the more we do that, the better. So I'm going to try and go in between, and even though it might overlap a little bit, that's okay, because the bubble bath is a much lighter color to the berry burst. So I can kind of fit that in between and it can overlap, and that will be okay. So I'm just going to fill it in, and I can always go back over with the berry burst in different spots to add a little bit more into it. So you can start seeing that shape coming in. Okay. And we are going to be using this for some of the other cards. And if you find that, say you cut it down and there's not enough flowers in it, you can always add more as we go along. So I'm just going to keep going. There we go, adding some in there. Okay, so you can kind of see that shape coming in. I think I need a little bit more berry burst in a couple of spots. I'm going to put a couple more over here on the end and in the corner where they kind of pop out. There we go. Okay, so I see maybe I could add a little bit more. It's always up to you on how you want to do it. So let's just add a couple of more. I'm just going to add a couple of more berry bursts in there. So you can see the shape that is kind of coming in there. It's like an S shape, or I guess it's a reverse S. And so that's what we're going to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut these down. And like I said, if and when you cut it down, you find that the pieces that we're using could use more flowers, then go right ahead and add that in. I'm going to add some in here, a little bit over there. The reason that I didn't add so much in at the moment is because some of them I want to utilize that open space for a sentiment. Okay, so this one kind of like boo-booed. I don't know what happened to that one on the bottom. But I will add a little bit of bubble bath to that, and then I can kind of fix that a little bit. And I think that's it for now. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to be doing some cutting. Now, before you just cut like just higgledy-piggledy, I want you to look at the paper, because what you want to get out of there is a little bit of white space for a sentiment. So you want to find a space that you can put your sentiment in your paper. So you're going to take a look and say, is it there? Okay, can I do it this way? Okay, there might be some there. Could I do it this way? I could put it right there. That definitely, if I cut it right there, I could put a sentiment right there. That would fit in, right? What about this side? Is there a spot I could put a sentiment? Let's see, what sentiment could I use? Right, and I'm going to lay it down. If I lay it down, will it fit in? Like this one would look really nice because it is on top of the bubble bath. I'm going to use the berry burst for the sentiment. And if I'm looking, and I look in a small section, that will definitely fit. Okay, so I want you to turn your paper. I could do it portrait or landscape. That would definitely fit again, all right, in that white space. What if I did it over here? So there's a spot over here. I want a space about 4 inches. That kind of not quite. It's a little bit too pushed on one side than the other. But what if I turned it this way and I did it like that? That would kind of look really nice too. It's still a little bit of white space up there, but it would be too crowded. It would fit nicely right there in that corner. So I'm going to move my paper around, and I'm looking for a spot that would have about 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I think I found it. I think this is it right here, because this is a nice white space right here for that sentiment to fit out. And what I'm going to do is, to make sure it fits in, I might cut it a little larger than... Oh, Gail's got a good point. You could always add a sentiment on a separate piece of paper on dimensionals. Exactly. That's a great idea too. So what I'm going to do is, I like it. I found my spot on where I want to place this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. And I know, okay, I'm going to cut this. So this is the portion I want, right? So I got to turn it upside down. I'm going to cut it to 4 inches. First, I'm going to lay it down, right? And I'm going to take my sentiment and double check. Does it fit in? Okay. Hello. Let's lift it up. Okay. Where was that? That was right there, right? Okay. So definitely 4 inches. Okay. I can fit that in. Okay. I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. Okay, so we're going to keep this piece of paper for the other cards that we want. Okay, now, because this sentiment needs to fit in that exact spot, I need to bring it up to 5 1/4. So if I brought it up, it's still too high. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to cut that. Keep this. We're going to use it for something else. And I'm going to cut some off the bottom, and I'm going to take it to 5 1/4. Okay, so now that we have this, I know my sentiment's going to fit in. All right. So when I look at this card, this is actually smaller than 4 and 5 1/4. It is because I have a mat all the way around. So if you don't want to place a mat, you can just have this size and put it on your card base. I'm going to show you. And where's my card base? There. Whoops. Where's my card base? Whoops. Apparently, I've lost my card base. Okay. Okay. Here, my card base. All right, and I could put it on my card base like that, but personally, I think it kind of gets lost in the bubble bath. You can't quite see it. It doesn't stand out. Now, if I put a mat underneath, like that makes it stand out a little bit more. And that's what I want. So that means I need to take this piece down a little bit more. So I'm going to take it down to 3 3/4. Now, again, our sentiment is going to go there. If I take off too much, it's going to look lopsided. Always be turning your page. Before you cut, double check. Take a look. Okay? Take a look at what you are going to cut. Take your time. It will make a big difference in the long run. So, okay, I'm going to take that. I keep having this in my sentiment. I can take some off to the top. So that was 3 3/4, and it goes down to 5, right? And let's see. Okay, now I'm going to place this on the mat. Okay, very nice. And there we go. And my sentiment is going to fit in there. Now, this piece of white up here is bothering me. So what I'm going to do, remember I said we can always add more flowers? That is exactly what we're going to do. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Pat. Oh, I was just reading the comments. Okay, hopefully it's okay. I'll keep going. And I do apologize for this. All right. I will upload these to YouTube, so don't worry, in a private group that you guys will be able to see. So don't worry about that. So I'm going to add a little bit more Berry Burst and Bubble Bath to this card. Okay. And before I stamp, I'm going to double check, make sure there is no ink on. And I'm going to add some color in there. Yeah, that kind of like little bit of open space of white was kind of bothering me a little bit. I don't know why. All right. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sentiment, and I'm going to have it in the Berry Burst color because I want it to stand out so that you will see it. Okay. Going to ink that up. And make sure that you don't do your sentiment upside down. Okay, we're going to eyeball it and just place it in there. Okay, or like Gail suggested, definitely you can add a sentiment on its own. Okay, now we have the ribbon here. I'm going to use some of that ribbon. Now you can actually either untwine it if you want like this to kind of loosen it a bit, or you can kind of use it all together. Now I'm actually going to use it as one piece. I'm going to try a different type of knot. Looks like a hangman's knot. I don't want to use that. Oh my goodness, that would be bad. Let's just do a regular kind of knot there. I'm actually going to double it over. I'm going to double it over, and I'm going to make a knot in the center of it and have it over like that. So there we go. What I'm going to do is actually add it to the back. fold it over. Again on this side. And I'm going to actually have these pieces kind of open a little bit. Don't forget, keep these pieces for later. And then we're going to add it to the card mat itself. Okay, I'm going to add it to the card mat itself. Okay. All right, and I'm going to take the card base, and then, wow, that's something wrong here. I gotta double check this. I think I may have cut it wrong. Yes, I did. That card looked a little awkward. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna add that to the front, and voila. There we go. That card is done. Add a little bit of Wink of Stella or some other little jewels that you have. Trying to get this straight. Okay. Add that to there. And you know what? I think we need to add a little bit of something to the center of those flowers. What if we just added, I don't think the brown quite matches. Well, the yellow might be an interesting idea. I could do that for all of the ones that are the dark color. Or what about blue? Does blue match a little nicer? No. Brown? No. I don't know. I think I'll go with the yellow. You know what? Go with what you think looks nicest. So I'm going to add the little yellows to the center. And I'm actually just going to add it to those that are the berry burst, the darkest color to that. I'm going to put that on each one. Okay. There we go. Keep going all the way around. Now you'll notice I didn't do this on the first card. And I find that as I go along, I do changes along the way to my cards. So there you can see kind of adding them in. Oh, Gail, yes, thank you. I love these colors too. But it was a hard choice. When Liz and I sat down to design some of these cards, we had a tough time choosing what colors to go with. So that's why we had the samples of the other ones. It was kind of tough. Oh, that one's kind of stuck. All right. There we go. We're almost done. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of flowers here. Holy cow. Uh-oh, I think I'm running out of yellows. I might have to go to the next size up. Nobody will know. Don't tell anybody I used the larger... Oh, hey, how about that? I ran out of flowers almost the same time as I ran out of dots. There we go. And they're actually, you know what? Those yellows look really nice on that. I think I like that a lot. Wow, I think I like that a lot better than my first card. So this is the one sheet wonder that we're going to use for this card itself. What we're going to do, oh my goodness, is we will move on to another card using the rest of these pieces on here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is at 3 o'clock, we are going to move on to the next card. I wanted to give you 15 minutes, give me time to kind of clean up, and then that we can be ready for the next card. We will be using this sheet, so hold on to that. Don't let it get too far. Okay, if you have any comments or concerns, please post them, email me, message me, text me. I am in contact with everybody as I try to keep up and listen to what you have to say. Oh, we forgot to add some Wink of Stella. All right, just going to add a little bit here. Now remember, just touch it up. Don't drag it across, right? You don't want to paint it, you just want to dab it. So come back, reload the page for 3 o'clock, and we will continue, even though the weather may be a little bit difficult, and knocking out some of this. Like I said, I will upload these to YouTube. I will try and do that within the next few minutes. Okay? Like I said, if you have any comments, shoot them my way. All right? I will see you at 3 o'clock. All right? Okay.